Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you're watching. Welcome to Bet the Edge. It is Vaughn Dalzell, Drew Disnick. And Drew, where are you sitting? Because I'm sitting on the floor, but you're sitting on a bulldozer?
Yeah, man, we're out here doing work. We're working the fields. No, man. Why are you sitting on the floor? Where are you? You outside the back of a school? What's happening with
I
you right now?
got the brick wall behind me today, but I actually just moved from Connecticut to PA. And
Mm-hmm.
have you ever gone through a move where everything can absolutely go wrong, and it does?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm talking like I get here and the shower broke. It's running for 45 minutes. I'm talking the dishwasher flooded the floor. I'm talking things weren't even clean, Drew. And I was bamboozled. These guys showed me a room, and it was not the same place I got. But you know what? You know what? I got it all handled. Two people lost their jobs yesterday, and they're doing an entire makeover of all the apartments, all because Vaughn Dalzell said this is unacceptable. Unacceptable. It's time to be a boss, Drew, and we're being bosses today, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna have bad karma, you want it to be that, not losing bets. So I get it.
Yeah, and that's what I was joking with the producer for the show. You know, all this stuff I've been through the past week just means the Steelers are going to win on Sunday, baby.
Oh man,
But
from your lips.
we're talking college football, we're talking NFL. Lions and Chiefs kick off. Before we get there, though, there's a lot of college football to talk about, Drew, and I have a lot of bets laid out today. So let's just get right into it. We got Notre Dame at NC State. Notre Dame's laying 7.5. Over under sitting at 51 right now. It did open at 7, slightly moved up. I like the Irish. You have any opinion on this game in general?
Yes, the Wolfies. They stink. They're going to get run out of the gym, man. I know it's not a gym. It's Carter Finley Stadium. Home game for NC State, and in general, they get a nice crowd going. There's some cool fans who show up for this type of stuff. But I got to tell you, man, we talked Notre Dame once in a preview of the Notre Dame Navy game. I told you that some of the sharper folks that I know had hesitancy in the offensive coordinator hire for Notre Dame, and that maybe the offense would start slow. Record scratch, Vaughn. It did not start slow. It has been utterly unstoppable. Sam Hartman is everything that was advertised and more. And if NC State, who has a good defense, shows up, then maybe this is a 2-score game. But I could entirely see a game state manifest here where Notre Dame pulls away and wins by margin. So if I had to make a play, I would play Notre Dame. But again, like not a college handicapper. So I'll listen to your insight. What's the right side here?
I'm with you in a lot of ways, sir. I love what Marcus Freeman's done with the defense so far for Notre Dame. We knew they were going to be elite coming in. And the people that dissed Notre Dame's offense, like you said, it was about the offensive coordinator, not Sam Hartman himself. Hartman's been electric, second best QBR rating in all of college football right now. And on the other side, Brennan Armstrong's the QB at NC State. He was with Virginia last year and Syracuse too at one point, I'm pretty sure. But he not very good against better defenses. Pitt, Miami, Illinois, all shut him down. And NC State is actually without Raheem. I believe Raheem Ashford is his name. He's their best safety. So Sam Hartman should have a day. NC State barely beat UConn, was only up by 3 at half. Yeah, I played the Irish -7, Drew. I think that they can cover the 7.5 as well. But the next game, I got phenomenal line movement. They look like they should be playing where you're at right now. I'm talking Utah at Baylor. The line was 5.5. Now it's 7.5. I didn't really understand why the line was only 5.5. Baylor lost to Texas State. And when I watched that game, you look at just the names of the schools sometimes, Drew. And when you're younger, you want to go ahead and take Baylor to come back and beat Texas State. But if you're watching that game, Texas State's outplaying them. Same thing with Duke and Clemson the other night. I had to grab me some Duke, and I know that makes you happy, but it was obvious they were going to win. Another game where I think Utah should obviously beat Baylor. How do you feel about this?
So Baylor is going to be without their starting quarterback. I think Cam Rising also is going to miss. At least my intel says he's doubtful here. But you know what? It didn't really matter against Florida because Utah's offensive coordinator is a doggone genius. That guy is cooking. He had some absolute wrinkles on, stuff that you did not expect one way or the other for that Florida game. I would expect he has more for Baylor. And in general, I don't rate Baylor's defense as highly as I rate Florida's defense. So Utah should be the right side here, regardless of who takes snaps. And in general, Utah, easy win, easy cover against Florida. I watched almost every snap of that game because I had an uncomfortably large bet on the under. And so I was like, what? No starting center for Utah, no starting quarterback, did not matter. They were electric, and it was all because of the scheme. And so I will ride or die with Utah. The fact that you've already moved past 7 means this probably ought to be a pass, but with Baylor not really having a quarterback to kind of bring into this contest, this looks like it could be another one where. Can I get your opinion on the game of the week in college football? One that I know has a lot of folks in the Shark community buzzing. Alabama, Texas. Matchup of what was one of the most fun games from the early season last year. This time, of course, we have flipped venues to Alabama and find them as 7.5 point favorites. Total sitting at 54.5. What's your read on this one?
Yeah, well, certainly, you think Texas should be able to keep up with Alabama once again. The quarterback, Jalen Milroe for Alabama, I think he's going to be electric. All year, I kept saying this guy is going to be much better than people think. Just the rushing ability that he brings into this game is going to be entertaining to me. But Texas is 2-5 against the spread versus the SEC in their last 7. And one of those covers was last year against Alabama. Them flipping the script here to Bama makes me want to bet them. But, Drew, I'm a very honest man. And when I say I'm probably a lifetime 25% better when it comes to Alabama football, I am not even joking. Like, I just fall for the public games when it comes to Alabama.
Okay.
And it's also the games that everybody wants to bet. And this is the game that everybody wants to bet this week. So I think my piece of advice for me, I'm going to either live bet or pass, because the loser of this game is set up to dominate next week. We're talking about Texas hosting Wyoming. Wyoming's a bottom 10 program. If Texas loses, they're going to destroy Wyoming. Alabama plays at South Florida. Same thing. Alabama will beat them by 45. So really, whoever loses this game, I'm getting a big boy, big girl bet on them the next week. But do you have a side picked out on this game?
Leaning Texas. I don't have, again, a strong handicap on college players, but if you stack up recruiting, if you stack up reporting from preseason, from spring, it looks to me like Texas has the more talented team. You can build in whatever home field advantage you want for Alabama, and it's going to be massive. This is a huge game. Alabama has championship aspirations, but I think that the difference in talent between these two squads is nil, if not favors Texas. So if those guys come out and play their best game, and obviously, Sark is quite familiar with how to attack a Saban defense, I think this could be a opportunity for an upset here. So I'm not saying to put away your Texas over Wyoming tickets just yet, but I would say that this is going to be a super competitive game, and it probably actually, because this is so high profile, there's going to be some back and forth. There's going to be a lot of scoring in this one. I think realistically, taking the points off, from the jump here and live trading this one so that you get plus money on both teams is probably a fun angle of approach.
I like that a lot too. And I would say too, one thing about Alabama football, you mentioned Texas roster being better. With the transfer portal now, Drew, Alabama's not the top dog when it comes to recruiting all the time. Not everyone's going to go to Alabama now. And with NIL, you're getting money. All right. We saw Travis Hunter from Colorado get offered $1.5 million. So, you're not going to get the best players all the time. So we definitely see Alabama, teams like Clemson also falling back down to earth a little bit. But a team that's kind of taken off are the USC Trojans. Boy, oh boy, maybe the best offense in all of college football. 56 and 66 points against San Jose State and Nevada. Two programs you expect them to do that against, but here's a third team we expect to do them against. Stanford's coming to LA to take on the Trojans. USC did beat them 41-28 last year. Spread is 29.5. I know it's humongous, but the Trojans are putting up points like nobody else. I think that they cover this spread. I already predicted 52-17, Drew. I'm calling my shot here on Bet the Edge. So what do you like in this game? You rocking with the Trojans?
I'm suspended from betting Stanford games. I bet Hawaii pretty big.
You took Hawaii? No.
And that didn't go great. It turns out I don't have a good read on Stanford in terms of how to correctly power rate them. And for those reasons, this is a pass. USC is defense optional, which is, I guess, why you're looking at a total of 69.5 in a Stanford game. This is not your USC Stanford of old, where it was like 13-10 in week 2 in the Coliseum. So no, this is going to be a fun one, a must watch. But I'm on the outs because I don't have a solid read at all on how to rate Stanford.
Yeah, I totally can understand that. Stanford's not good. I mean, they don't return a lot of guys. They're just totally blanketed right now, in my opinion. And 5 teams last year scored 42 or more points on Stanford's defense, and they may be worse on
Wow.
defense this year. So I
Wow.
definitely think USC team total is going to be worth a look. If that comes out, 47, 48.5 is a large number, but they've already scored 56 and 66. Caleb Williams going for the back-to-back Heisman. So watch out for that game. And, hey, if you lost money on Saturday, which I hope you don't, you can always chase with USC, and it's probably not a bad idea, to be honest, Drew. But so you don't have to lose money this Saturday, September 9th at 11 a.m. Eastern. Brad Thomas, Eric Froton, and myself are answering all your college football betting questions for week 2. All you have to do is tune into NBC Sports YouTube page, hear more about our thoughts on Texas versus Alabama, multiple Big Ten teams in action, including Maryland as a 3-touchdown favorite, which we're going to talk about here. That's on Sunday night on NBC and Peacock. And also, we'll have our best bets, a people's parlay, and the money line sprinkles, my favorite. Drew, I almost had a money line sprinkle for this next game we were talking about, but they're not an underdog anymore. They're a favorite. They were 7.5-point underdogs. Now they're minus 3.5-point favorites. Who could I be talking about, Drew? Which team?
Colorado Buffaloes.
Colorado Buffaloes, baby. All that steam, do you believe, is what Deion Sanders asked the reporters, and they were still skittish. But guess what, Drew? I believe. There's one team outside of Georgia that's going to be on a Netflix documentary in 10 years. It's this Colorado Buffaloes team. I want to say that with my chest. So I played the money line at minus 130. It's all the way out to minus 165. Great closing value for me. Doesn't mean I'm going to win the bet, though. Will the public lose here on Colorado, Drew?
This is a tough one, man. If the public is laying 3.5, I think they are.
Yeah, that's why I played the money line. I wasn't laying points.
Yeah, if the public lock this in before it crossed 3, I like where they're at. This is a really, really tough question, which is how do you correct the rating for Colorado?
Yeah.
What I saw versus TCU was a defense that is not very good, but an offense that absolutely can go score for score with elite offenses. I think people's takeaway from the TCU Colorado game was the surprise about Colorado and maybe I'm being crazy, but most of my takeaway was TCU went in overrated, like 21-point favorites. And, the quarterback was not anywhere close to the quality I expected from him. So I think Nebraska could score in this contest. I think it's going to be close. I think it's going to come down to the end. I haven't played this game because the uncertainty swirling around the right rating for Colorado is enormous. Sometimes college programs, they get the mojo going, they get the attention from a huge week 1 upset like that, and it tears the program apart. Other colleges, it lifts them up and carries them to, a season where you just, they defy all expectations. We're going to find out based on this result, I think. So this is a kind of more data collection for me to kind of get a fair rating on Colorado rather than it is to really go ham one way against or for them. I will just tell you that if you are making a bet because of what you think the public is doing, then you have gone horribly wrong in your process, and you need to strongly rethink how you got to where you got. This is fun. No one's, there's no wrong way to enjoy, betting on sports, but definitely the folks that are going to be out there hammering a narrative of fading the public, I would just, I would exercise a little caution.
Yeah, I think, like you said, data collection is a good point. That's why I don't want to bet Texas versus Alabama. And the only way to not have fun gambling is gambling more money than you're supposed to. So make sure you're paying attention to your units and staying fair. Because Colorado, it's exciting. I'll admit, I wanted to load up on Colorado this Saturday because I'm like, they're definitely beating Nebraska. But that's not the right way to approach this game. So normal 1-unit wager for me on Colorado's money line. I got it at a way better price, though. My best bet, I think, for Saturday's show, Drew, is going to be Iowa at Iowa State. Now, the celebrities will not be on the sidelines at this game like they are at Colorado. But when I say the under has been a slam dunk almost every season between these two, 4 straight unders. The points per game has been 28 total points per game between these two, and 5-1 in the last 6 unders. So obviously it's looking good. Cade McNamara is the quarterback at Iowa. Looks a little better, but he's better. Anyone could be better than Spencer Petras. So I'm still taking the under, my friend. Where are you going with this game?
I will just say that this ain't your grandpappy's Iowa team. These guys can definitely score 17 points.
17.
I don't know that they can score 20, but they can get to 17, I think. And that said, a total of 36.5 is unbelievably low. But that's the way these teams play each other, and Iowa State's not very good. So I think I agree with the total. If you wait around, if there is any buyback and this hits 37, that's a quasi key number. A final score of 20-17 here for Iowa wouldn't be shocking. But I think realistically, this is not going to be the type of game where you're sweating more than 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, it's going to be a terrible game to watch, to be honest. It's going to be no points, back and forth, lots of punts. But that's what I love. And if you hop on NBCSports.com and go to the betting page on Saturdays or Sunday mornings, we'll get our best bets out early. And when I put this one out, this was 38.5. So we passed 2 key numbers of 37 and 38 in college football. At 36.5, I still think it's worth a 1-unit wager. I still think this number is coming down. Both offenses are going to be putrid. So just enjoy this game in general. If you have an under ticket, I'll be sweating it with you. And if we get a missed field goal, please jump off your couch because we'll need it. The next game is Saturday night on NBC and Peacock. And if it didn't get better last week than West Virginia and Penn State, with Penn State covering in the final minute, because James Franklin said, we're going to get you, whoever believes in us, we're going to get you paid this year. I hope Maryland's on the same page, Drew. They're laying 24.5 against Charlotte, over under 51.5. I think the only way to look at this game is a Maryland team total in the first half or a full game. Maryland kind of just went on cruise control in the second half here. Charlotte beat FCS South Carolina State 24-3. Didn't see much from them. Maryland only put up 38 on Towson. I can't trust the Terps D. So I'm going to wait on this one. I'll probably get a team total in the first half on Maryland, but that's the only advice I can give in this game. What are you thinking?
Well, I mean, it's going to be on Peacock, so I guess I'm going to need some action. And I hadn't heard anyone make that case. I like it. Maryland team total first half. Then because everything you said checks out to me. Just the state, the game potential game state in the second half. This being a little bit out of reach. Maryland not necessarily pulling the James Franklin play for the coverness, but and just in general, their defense being a little suspect scares me off of 24.5. Yes. Slight lean for me to the over 51.5. And I think you found the right angle of approach, which is just isolate Maryland, isolate first half, and then we can kick up and enjoy the rest of the game.
Yeah. Maryland put up 4 passing touchdowns in the first half last week, scored 28 themselves. Charlotte got off to a quick start too. And like we said, we don't trust Maryland's defense. So if you can't get a first half team total on Maryland, the first half over 26.5 isn't a bad look right now either. That'll probably move to 27.5, I'm sure, because it's getting juiced as we speak. But the real topic of conversation is NFL season. The kickoff starts, but it's a double dip on Sunday Night Football this week. The season kicks off Thursday, September 7th, when Patrick Mahomes and the Super Bowl defending champs, the Chiefs, host the Lions, followed by Dak Prescott and the Cowboys taking on Saquon Barkley and the Giants on Sunday night. Coverage for both games starts at 7 p.m. Eastern, only on NBC and Peacock. I did place bets on both games. I got the Giants at plus 3.5. I think they win. They're the divisional home dog. And I did play a little Chiefs, but guess what? I didn't get the best of the number, Drew, because I bet it before Travis Kelce news came out by his hyperextended knees. Chris Jones may not play now. He's banged up. So now we have everyone saying the Lions are holding all this value. Jared Goff, 6-0 ATS in week 1. Mahomes, great as well, though. I still like the Chiefs. I'm going to wait to bet it to get the best number. Do you like the Lions?
No.
Let's go.
What's funny is
different tiers.
So what number did you get on the Chiefs? 6?
I played a 6. And then yesterday I played a 5, and I was like, the 5's fine. And then it came down to 4.5. Didn't make me feel confident. Shouldn't triple dip. Definitely shouldn't triple dip. But if it gets to a 3, I'm interested.
Yeah, this has all the whiffs of landing in the middle. I think. I think this is the bookie's nightmare kind of game, which is the opposite, by the way, of that Giants Cowboys game. I feel like they're going to get a lot of people who lay the juice on the Giants plus 3.5, and they're going to get a lot of people that lay the juice on Dallas -3. And I think that's going to go one way or the other. They're going to absolutely rake on Sunday Night Football. This one, I think they're going to be feeling hurt. I think the adjustments to the absence of Travis Kelce are a slight overstatement. The only modicum of there is something there is when an injury happens this late in the preseason cycle. There's not much the team can really do to pivot. But that said, any other quarterback besides Mahomes, and I am freaking out if I'm the home favorite here. And I look at what the Chiefs are going to want to do. The Lions defense can be attacked in so many ways. I'm sure that they had some fun wrinkles and different looks already, cooked up that didn't involve Kelce that are still going to be perfectly valid. We don't really know what the wide receiver depth chart is going to look like and what the wide receiver target share is going to look like. That favors the Chiefs, in my opinion. The Lions secondary is very weak. And the Lions pass rush, particularly the interior of that pass rush, is helpless. The Chiefs O-line, centers, guards, they are all universe. And if the tackles can gel and they're getting good pass pro for Pat Mahomes in this contest, then he's going to carve them apart, even if he's throwing it 10 times to Noah Gray here instead of Travis Kelce. So I'm not concerned about the Chiefs getting 230 points because of the state of the Lions defense. I think this sets up fairly well for a backdoor cover for the Lions, because the Lions are a team, as rostered, that is not necessarily going to be out of the game if you're down multiple scores. Shoot, week 1 last year against the Philadelphia Eagles, the Lions were backdoor covered darlings. But I look at a game state here potentially where the Chiefs have a comfortable lead. Their running game is good enough to take some time off the clock, but not good enough to play full on keep away. And without a pass rush, this Chiefs team is going to have a really, really tough time getting off the field with the Lions in comeback mode and must-pass mode. So, I look at a Lions team that probably is a little underrated by market on offense, even though everybody kind of respects and understands they're a good offense. Ben Johnson is awesome coordinator, and Jared Goff is going to have a top 10 season, in my opinion, just because of the schedule and because of the weapons he's working with. So I think the Lions can get to a 1-score game here. And let me tell you how this plays out, Vaughn. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
14-point lead for the Chiefs. 4 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Lions are driving. Lions score to make it an 8-point game. They go for 2 because that's what the analytics says to do. And that specific attempt for 2 decides one way or the other if the Lions backers or the Chiefs backers prevail. And I don't know how it breaks, but I think they could convert, and this game ends with a 6-point margin as the Lions fail to recover the onside kick. I'm going to say 30-24. How do you like the sound of that?
30-24. I love that we're just calling our shots on Bet the Edge today. Score predictions out the wazoo. I'm going to go 31-24 Chiefs, of course, because I took the Chiefs to win, so I got to back that up. So 7-point win. They actually cover the opening spread. Everyone that continues to play the Lions continues to lose. But Drew, I think you got an internship to write the NFL script next year. So I hope it's a good one. I want the no abs catch, or the all abs catch, as they say in the commercials. And we'll leave you with 2 notes here. Over the last 22 years, the Super Bowl winner has gone 18-4 on the money line, 82%, and 13-7-2 against the spread. That's 65%. Kansas City will be unveiling their banners at home, where they've won 7 straight home games and 13 of the last 4. I like the Chiefs. All right. And I also like a Kadarius Toney touchdown because, as Drew said, they'll be okay without Travis Kelce. They'll have something for you, Detroit. Yeah. And if you guys haven't started drafting yet, you probably should get on that. But the NFL season is starting, so draft night means get the Roto World Football Draft Guide, okay? Rankings, player profiles, projections, and more. Help you win your league. Go to NBCsports.com/draft guide to get it now. And please use CHAMP23. You get 20% off and receive a $10 Fanatics e-gift card. You get yourself some Steelers gear after they beat the Niners this weekend. All right. As a reminder, we appreciate you guys watching and listening in. Make sure you go to Amazon.com/NBC Sports to hear more from Drew, Vaughn, and Jay. Best of luck this weekend. Enjoy the games.